What's up guys, Deroir here, and welcome to the show. And with me today, in the comfortable chair, is Mr. MMOInks. Welcome to the show, man.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming. So, you, just like myself, have stumbled across a new game, No Man's Sky. Now, why is that? Why does this game intrigue you?
Yeah, I think a big part of it is the exploration that is going to be involved with this game. And anytime you hear the developers of No Man's Sky talking about how they generate planets, that like the number of planets in the billions, and how every player essentially is going to have their own playthrough experience because of the way the universe sort of generates around those players. So it's possible that, you're playing No Man's Sky and I'm playing No Man's Sky. We're going to have completely different experiences. And I think that really lends a lot to the content creator side of me that really excites me, because that lends a lot to the fact of sharing that experience with other people, seeing how other people experience No Man's Sky versus how I experience it. And that doesn't even get into the facets of the different class types that they have. If you want to play a warrior or a scientist, an explorer, etc., each of those is going to change the way that you play and experience the game as well. And that's super, super exciting to me.
Definitely. Like, just like you said to begin with, too, like, the game is theoretically infinite. Like, it just keeps on going, and that's one of the funny things, though, is that because of this infinity, it is designed to be a solo experience, even though it is, theoretically, an MMO. And I know you have a strong affinity for MMOs. Is that one of the reasons why this has drawn you to it, the MMO experience?
Yeah, there's this. Think of how exciting. So you play No Man's Sky for an insane amount of hours, and you finally come across another player. And in MMOs, that might seem absurd because you're used to running across obviously massive amount of players. But you still have this possibility to run across somebody else in the game. Even though, that might be a slightly remote possibility, I think the fact that this is a solo player, generally a solo player experience, but it has the possibility to open up into something greater than that, and that is pretty exciting.
I would love if someday I would come across another player. I don't think that it is possible in any way, shape, or form, given the insane calculations that I've seen people do on the time that it would just take to explore the entire galaxy, or like all these 18 quintillion planets. Like, it is so mind-bogglingly big that I cannot wrap my head around it. I mean, so how do you plan on playing it? Have you any preference? Do you want to be a fighter or scientist or explorer or?
Yeah, I definitely think I'm going to lead towards the exploring aspect of it. Either explorer or scientist, I think, is where I'm going to lean at first. Both of those have strong personal ties for me. And to kind of live those experiences out within the game. And obviously a big part of the game, not the only part, but a big part is exploration. Going from planet to planet and system to system and all these sorts of things. Really, really exciting to me. Just exploring the variety of planets. When you find a new one, you can give it a sub-name or you can name it yourself. And, even though a good deal of the planets are going to be maybe less populated, less technologically advanced, not have dinosaurs on all of them, for example, when you do find those planets that do have dinosaurs or do have large, massive amounts of life on them, or perhaps some alien technology, which may be sparse, but that's the exciting part about the exploration, finding those things and uncovering those secrets. There's a big thing in No Man's Sky about learning the different alien faction language patterns.
Yeah,
so I'm really excited to learn the different languages and interact with them, and all that really kind of excites me about the game.
I think personally, if there's anything that excites me the most in this game, it's all these languages. It's the monoliths that you have to find all around the world to try and learn these different languages. Like, I know personally I'm going to just hunt these down. That is going to be my goal. Every planet is going to be completely searched through for all these monoliths. This is exactly what I want. I don't necessarily favor the fighter style. I want to explore. I want to see all the wonders that the different galaxies have to offer, and just space in general. Like,
Yeah.
I've always had a thing for sci-fi and fantasy, but like lately, as you know, well, I've played Guild Wars. I've been heavily into the fantasy world, and I'm really looking forward to getting back into sci-fi. Like, how have you stood in the sci-fi community? Like, how is this something that has intrigued you since you were a kid, or
Yeah,
is it just
absolutely. I mean, think back to movies like Alien or Aliens, for example.
Oh, yeah.
Or Sphere is another one. All these science fiction movies, or I don't know whether you want to call them science fiction horror movies or just science fiction in general. No Man's Sky's on the brain, but just all of these movies. You know, Interstellar being a more recent film, for example.
Oh,
but
yeah.
they all have this particular magic about them that I love. You know, it's exploring space and the unknown, and I just love the theme. I love the ships and the style of technology, and discovering alien races and planets and just all that stuff, and the dangers that those things could hold is also really exciting. So I definitely, even though I think the majority of games that I play, or a good deal of them at least, are fantasy sets, more medieval fantasy, Guild Wars 2 and Final Fantasy, et cetera, et cetera. I'm always looking for that space game to really grab me, to really take me to that genre. And No Man's Sky looks like it's going to fill that spot for me, and that's pretty exciting.
Now that you mentioned Alien and all that, those are some of my favorite movies of all time. Like, I've always had a thing for the Alien franchise, and if there's any movie that I'm most excited for right now, it's the next Prometheus, the next follow-up to Alien. But it's funny because I've always leaned towards this darker side of the sci-fi world. It's always been the gritty alien monsters and all that. And what we've seen with No Man's Sky is that most of it is sort of the old school artistry with all the bright colors and that. How do you feel about that?
I think I don't think that's too bad of a thing. You're right, though. It does lend this air of brightness, happiness, safety. Really, is kind of what it conveys to you a lot of times, right? That these roads are bright and colorful and safe. And I don't know if that's always going to be true. I guess we'll have to really wait to play the game and
Sure.
wait for more information to see how that really ties into it. But yeah, I don't know. I think it's fine, really, at the end of the day. It's not meant to be a scary horror type of game. So it's meant to be more about exploration and science and trading and communing with factions and things like that. So I think that's fine. It doesn't need to be this, Warhammer 40K dark millennia universe, in the future. It has its own, it has its own feeling to it, and that doesn't necessarily bother me. You're right, though. I guess I do kind of prefer the dark, gritty sort of future of Aliens or Warhammer 40K or things like that. But No Man's Sky is still going to be great, I think, even though it adds this air of safetyness, lack of danger, which I think is a bit of a false pretense. But
I mean, they have said that there might be, or that there will be predators lurking in the dark, so to speak, and they're like
Sure.
in the night there will be predators, and like closer to the center of the galaxy there will be more and more danger, but we just haven't seen it. So maybe it's an aspect of the game, which I personally hope that it's going to be an aspect of the game, like this whole feeling of survival, like loneliness in the
Right.
darkness, and just I can't find my ship, I can't get off this planet, I'm stuck in this forest or stuck somewhere way too far away, and something is lurking in the dark. Like that's always been an appealing feeling to me. Like it's a weird appealing feeling, but like I know, yeah. So we've talked a lot about the exploration and stuff, like, but one of the things that I personally don't find to be that engaging, but I probably will engage in way more than I think I will right now, is trading. How do you feel about trading?
Yeah, in games in general, I am not too trading post savvy. I am not too trading savvy, but I know that a lot of people are. There's a big, rich community out there of players who love the trading aspect, the trading of resources and minerals and all that kind of stuff. What's really interesting about trading in No Man's Sky is that I don't think it's every planet, but above a number of planets are these outposts and trading posts. And you go there to trade your supplies, depending on your faction standing and stuff. You can buy ships. If there's a ship that's docked and you like the way it looks, you have the chance to buy it as long as it doesn't fly away. One of the really interesting things to me, and this is sort of a little off topic of trading, but the way that you upgrade your gear and your weapons and your survival suit to withstand extreme cold and stuff like that, I love those types of systems. It's very Castlevania or Metroid-ish to me, in the sense that you start out with this gun, this tool that will help you mine things, collect resources, and you can upgrade it to do better things. You can upgrade your spacesuit to withstand particular temperatures for longer periods of time, and you can upgrade your ship as well to do a number of different things, not just weapons and armor, but your hyperdrive, so the speed and the cloaking aspect of it. All that kind of stuff is super interesting to me, and I really love that sort of upgrade system in games, and that has me pretty excited for No Man's Sky.
It seems very, very interesting. It's much different from what I personally have ever played, really. It has a lot of it's about finding the next blueprint and just like going and upgrading. Every time you find a new blueprint, just go upgrade, find the materials for it, and let's go. But I'm very curious as to how it will, like, how effective something like the hyperdrive will be to trading. Like, will it be, because I'm completely confident that players who will upgrade their ship to the fullest, like their hyperdrive, they will make bank from just going from the edge of the center of the galaxy to the edges of the galaxy in a split seconds, just with the hyperdrive, and making so many units is the currency. Right. I'm still getting used to that, of course. I mean, yeah, I'm very curious about the system.
I think you have a very valid point there, right? We know that the end goal to the game is to get to the center of the universe. Now, what's at the center, obviously we don't know just yet as players, but we know that things get a lot more difficult, get a lot more dangerous as you get closer and closer to the center of the universe. And so it stands to reason that the more rare materials, the resources, these items that players are probably going to want for upgrades themselves are going to be at the center. So if you have things like stealth or a hyperdrive, good armor and weapons, etc., to really defend yourself, getting to and from that center, coming back and forth for players, I think is going to be, a really big part of that trading for those who are interested in that.
Apart from all the hyperdrive and the instantaneous travel, I think one of my big speculations is the time it'll take to just get to the next planet. Like, without the hyperdrive, without, like, how long is it going to take for me to just venture out into the darkness and just try something? That is one of the mind-boggling things about this game that really, really interests me and really intrigues me in a weird way. But I can't wait to see it. I really cannot wait to see it. And it's right around the corner now.
Yeah, it's getting really close. It's interesting too that it's going to be, so I'm getting it on PC.
Yeah, me too.
I assume that you're going to get it on PC as well.
Definitely.
But it'll be interesting to see how all the different platforms, like how their experiences is on the different platforms and stuff. That should be really interesting to see.
Yeah, that's I've never actually played a game where it was on both PC and PS4. I've passed. I have no idea how that's actually going to turn out. It would be really weird if any of the any of the platforms had any advantages, but I think it's just going to be a fluid gameplay for both systems. I hope.
I would assume so. So for me, obviously I don't have a PlayStation 4, so that's one reason I'm getting it on PC. But I also think that, and they haven't really talked about this, I haven't really seen a whole lot of discussion about this just yet, but going forward in the future, who knows if, different mods and stuff could exist for No Man's Sky. And if they're going to exist, I imagine that that's going to happen first on the PC platform. So those sorts of things always kind of excite me. I'm not a big modder myself. Like I don't create them or anything, but I do have a lot of fun seeing what others have created, testing them out, trying them out in other games that allow those sorts of things. And like we don't know that No Man's Sky is going to let you do that necessarily, but should be pretty interesting to see.
I know Hello Games have already talked about like doing expansions to the world and like how they would do it, because it for some reason admittedly I'm not a tech expert, but they seem to have some limitations as to how they would even proceed in making any form of expansion to the universe, because all players are always in it and blah blah blah, something like that. But I think they've talked about just like adding different metrics here and there that would change different parts of the planets or the universe in general. And I'm very curious to see how they will evolve it, and if they will even evolve it, if they get the backing for it. I really do hope so, because I am definitely going to play this for a long time.
Yeah, it really will come down to how popular it is at release. I think it's going to be a big hit. I think it's going to be a big hit for the content creation community. Podcasts are going to rise up around this thing.
I've already seen a few, yeah.
Right, it's going to be huge on things like Twitch. Obviously, it's going to be big on YouTube, and so as long as people are out there playing it and supporting it and watching that content, which I have zero doubt that's that's obviously going to happen. I have no doubts it's not going to happen. That's also an exciting thing as well. Seeing that experience from a lot of different people's perspective. I know that me and Deroir have talked a little bit about what we want from the game and what we're expecting from the game and stuff like that. And it's exciting. It's exciting to get into a game where there seems to be an infinite possibilities of planets, of things to explore. If you want to play the trading or fighting, routes, that's also infinite in many ways. And there's always going to be players looking to upgrade their stuff and make it to the center of the universe. And if the game does well, which I expect it to, and they get the proper funding, then adding all these extra things to make the universe even bigger, add more features and stuff to the game. They've expressed interest in a couple of different areas, like VR, for example, or maybe.
Oh, I would love to get my hands on something like that for this.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, for launch, that's not going to be an option for them. But who knows? If they get the proper funding in the future, how amazing could that be for a game like this?
Completely agree.
So, the future looks really bright for No Man's Sky. I'm super excited. Can't wait to get my hands on it as soon as possible. And
me too. Yeah. And it's right around the corner. And like you said, content creators, there's going to be a lot of stuff. Where can people find you on the internet to see what your experiences in No Man's Sky will be?
Yeah, so really easy. You can follow me on Twitter, Twitch, and YouTube. And it's all at MMOInks. That's all one word.
All the links right there. Go follow, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you for joining me, Mr. Inks. It was amazing. It was awesome. It was fun talking to you. And I think we're both super, super excited about this game coming out soon. And to you guys, thank you for watching. Until next time, bye-bye.